What was something you thought would be easy until you tried it? Snowboarding. I grew up on skis, and when I tried snowboarding I literally just rolled down the entire mountain like a slinky on the stairs. Playing the guitar. The jump from not being able to play anything to playing basic chords and a couple songs you like isn't that much, and it makes you feel like such a badass. But the jump again to a working musician is astronomical. I tried and just got burnt out, and it wasn't fun anymore. Running. I was like, yeah, I smoke and drink, but I can definitely run like the wind. Hannah. Quit smoking after my first run, and am now 3 years smoke free. Yes. I'm also almost 3 years smoker free, and loving running. Totally changed my life. Maintaining a proper work/life balance. When I was still in college, I'd either procrastinate way too much, or I'd work non-stop. I was never able to find a balance where I was still getting shit done, but not burning myself out. Learning a second language. I understand it's far easier as an adolescent, but, whoa, conversational German for an English speaker is very hard for me. Making and maintaining friends as an adult. I never really put much thought into this until I had no friends left in adulthood, and realized how easy it used to be as a kid at school in comparison. Managing your own time. Self-discipline. There are a lot of things that can distract you, and bam, it's 9 p.m. and nothing has been done. Seriously, you can take one lazy day as an adult and you're somehow a week behind but not any less tired. Submit a bug report. This shit is unplayable. Pottery. I made a couple of very small, crappy bowls on the wheel. But the thing I made the best and far more often was a giant mess. I can sculpt fine, but those stupid bowls get me. On the first trip to England, after renting a car, it proved to be a considerable challenge to drive on the other side of the road from what I was used to, especially in the roundabouts and on major highways. Rolling down a pretty steep grassy hill when you're in your 60s. Sounds easy and fun, right? OMG. No. Working a job. Doing the job physically itself, I have no problem with. Mentally, it's the drain of bad management and feeling like you're wasting your time. That and being middle management, or a team lead, or whatever. Still dealing with incompetent management, but now you're responsible for other people too. The emotional/mental drain of wanting to do a good job for the people whose lives you affect, but not being able to due to people above you not caring, can be crushing. And being caught in the middle, you get blamed from both ends, and can often feel like shit. Yes, being a low-level manager is so much more difficult than it looks. You want to help people have good lives and progress in their careers, but you're just as in the dark about everything as they are, while also being expected to convince everyone to get on board with policies you don't agree with. And that's the best case scenario, where the people reporting to you are good at their jobs and don't piss anyone off. As soon as someone on your team starts making things difficult, that becomes your whole job. Studying and working at the same time. Went fine for one semester, but next month I'm switching to part-time. It's just not sustainable for my mental health otherwise. Throwing dough to make pizza, and pretty much the rest of the pizza making process. Getting the dough into a round 18-foot pie is tricky. Then getting the sauce, even and not on the crust, is a process. And getting all of it done as quickly as possible. After several hundred pizzas I can crank them out pretty good now though. Cooking with puff pastry. I'm pretty sure you have to sell your soul to make puff pastry listen to you. Healing from trauma. Takes so damn long. So very true. Personally, I didn't really understand how much trauma it actually was until reflecting on it years later. In the moment, it was hard to process it all. Now, I'm like, damn, I lived through that. Falling in love with the right person. My mom used to tell me to be careful who you date, because you can fall in love with anyone. Fell for many frogs before my hubs came along, and we're close to our 13th anniversary. Statistics. I'm pretty good at all forms of math, but that one. Getting friends when you are not a kid anymore. Not turning off my brain. Trying to stop staring at my computer screen all day long. I keep resolving to stop doing it. but then I just keep falling down rabbit holes of different websites. Golf. I was watching the US Open on TV and seeing the players chatting with their caddies as they took a leisurely stroll down the fairway in the sunshine. I thought that's the game for me. Apostrophe. So I borrowed a set of clubs and went out on my own. In the UK, in winter, I got home wet, tired, hungry and covered in mud and scratches with twigs in my hair after hitting about 200 strokes and losing over a dozen balls. I played for a couple of years, but I was still pretty bad at it. Building in Minecraft. Sounds silly, but man, I'm bad at building. I've been playing since it was playable, and I still make my buildings too small. It's an infinite world. I can have all the floor space I want, and it always turns out cramped. Good sex. Actual great mind-blowing sex for both parties takes great physical skills, communication, and being able to pick up on cues. Sex is like dancing. Technically, almost anyone can do that, but most who claim to be great would hate to think what others really think. I agree. It's actually rare to meet someone to have that connection with. It gets easier when you get older. The older I got, the better the sex. I know what I'm doing, and I know what I like. Same goes with my partners. Plus confidence, which comes with age, also helps. Decorating cakes with various style frosting tips. You have to get the frosting at just the right temp, or it all either melts immediately or it's too hard to work with. Apparently also works better with homemade frosting. I bought whipped buttercream that comes in a little tub, and it was way too oily. Still looked alright, but I definitely want to get better at it. I'm artistic and thought it would come naturally to me, but it was really not as easy as it looks. Kick flipping a skateboard. The mechanics of it seem so obvious and simple, but it took me months of trying before I landed one, and I was never able to do it consistently. Yoga. Yes, I just started, and it's definitely harder than it looks. My balance is not as good as I had previously thought, lol. Getting out of a toxic relationship. I looked down on women who complained about being in an abusive situation. I thought they were weak. They can just leave, I would say to myself. I was wrong, and I apologize to any woman I thought negatively of because of that. Lose weight. Was always skinny, so never had to deal with it until now that I'm overweight. Same. Skinny all my life until this baby weight came, and body is all disproportionate. Trying to lose weight for 3 years now, and it's so damn hard. Pushing a motorcycle around. Living on my own. For me it's just the always being alone thing. My place is cleaner and more organized than I've ever been able to keep it now. But it's hard. No one to talk about your day with. No one to say goodnight to. No one to talk about the future with. Video games are even weird. For my entire life they were a co-op thing. Now it's just me, and I find my interest has gone way down. Everything in my life revolved around 2 people. It's quite an adjustment. Mentally, I'm doing way better, but still, everything is different, and even a year on now, it's hard. The whole COVID thing has really made it worse. Of course, I'd probably feel very differently if the entire world wasn't stuck in our own little holes by ourselves. I was always very sarcastic and dismissive of photographic models. They make boatloads of money for standing around. My sister is a professional photographer and knows the posing tricks and way one needs to stand to get the best image. She challenged me to pose for a photo shoot. I got tired and frustrated within 5 minutes. It's pretty difficult and requires concentration and good rapport with the photographer. I was a nude model for the art department in college. 3 hours 3x a week. The first 10 minutes I got to switch poses for warm-up sketches. The last 2 HR 50 minutes I had to stay perfectly still. Apparently I was pretty good at it because they called me back the next semester. Rock climbing. I'm not saying I thought it was easy and it wouldn't be a challenge, but I at least expected it to be fun. Well, let me tell you, if you are out of shape it hurts. I nearly ran a red light because my legs were so sore afterwards I couldn't bend my ankle to press the brakes, so I had to slam my foot down on the brake pedal. Quitting sugar. It's in every damn thing, and I miss it. Putting in a tampon. Was really overconfident and not prepared for crying on the bathroom floor, lol. Not being able to put a tampon on was the first sign I had that I had vaginismus. Just thought I was doing it wrong. Turns out my vagina didn't work. Good times. Look into it if you're still having issues. Convincing someone to change their mind about something by giving valid reasons and evidence. Breastfeeding. I thought the hard part would be having to wake every 2 to 3 hours, because the rest is just putting baby to tit. Right. Well, wouldn't that be a luxury? Turns out, babies can latch wrong and make your tits hurt like a bitch. So you've to teach them how to latch right. And then my rate of flow isn't great. So baby keeps getting tired sucking, so I need to keep waking him up the whole time. And for the same reason, baby takes an hour and a half to feed. Sometimes he drinks for half an hour, sleeps for a half hour, and then wakes up screaming to drink again. Sometimes he falls asleep after 2 hours of sucking and doesn't wake for 4 hours and scares the crap out of me. It's been 2 weeks of managing an infant, and every single day is some new twist. Like this morning, it turns out my right tit doesn't produce any milk. How the duck are you supposed to deal with that all of a sudden? But it's cool. I've learned to pump, and there's formula for backup. But I'm trying to be careful with that, because I don't want my milk to dry up. Also right now, the baby's full, and still won't stop asking to feed because it's comforting. I'm at my wit's end. If you still aren't producing milk from your breast tomorrow, better check with a doctor. You could be getting mastitis. Setting yourself an objective and actually reaching it, in some things, like doing exercise or spending less. Grocery shopping by yourself is a king nightmare first time around, especially when searching for paprika. For some reason. The spice aisle, where they have store brands for every spice known to man, except the one you want. Guess I'll have to buy the $8 bottle of cinnamon, because it's so rare and exotic. Golfing. Definitely lol. I've taken many people out to the driving range. Most don't expect to be great at golf, but do wonder if they can hit over 100 yards the first time. They're always surprised when they struggle to hit the ball at all. Competitive swimming. Swimming 100 meters in water is honestly like running a whole mile when you've never swam like that before. Finishing a song. You can write, you can record, you can edit, you can mix. The hardest part is accepting the master and moving forward with the artwork. The packaging, the distribution, and all of the shitty streaming agreements. It's hard to release a baby into the world these days. Love. They make it look so easy. Meet someone. Find them attractive. Go on a date. And poof. Love. Sure, they usually have an issue during the 90-minute movie, but by the end those issues are resolved, usually, and then it's happily ever after that. It took me a long time to figure out love wasn't that easy, and even after you found it, and things are good, it's still not easy. You have to work at it, and keep working, because people change and grow, and if you want it to last you need to change and grow together. Love will kick you in the metaphorical balls. Edit, spelling. Edit 2. Thank for the silver. I know how to roller skate. Even ice skated with figure skates. I can skateboard, mountain bike, ski, wakeboard and water ski. When I laced up some hockey skates and tried to even resemble skating like a hockey player, it blew my mind how difficult it was. Insanely hard. I gained a new respect for hockey and how those players can automatically move effortless while controlling the puck with a stick. Absolutely awesome. Honestly, cooking. When I watched my mom I always thought, oh well, what's there to learn? Just throw some stuff together and bam. Done. Here I am, 29 years later with a cold, not having a single clue how to make homemade chicken soup. Also yes, called mom for it. It was delicious. Pole dancing. Shaving. Grooming the dog myself. Not easy. Not cute. Fish keeping. It's not easy. It's not simple. It takes a lot of work and research and knowledge. Money. Also. Eating at a dinner table in silence. Ice skating. I immigrated to Canada age 26 to work for a TV production company, and the first time I saw people skating was when I was shooting some television programs featuring NHL players. Does anyone remember Guy Lafleur and Larry Robinson? Closed bracket. They made it look so easy that I borrowed a pair of skates and went out on the ice during a lunch break. Needless to say, for a completely uncoordinated person like me, it was a complete disaster. Raising children. Corking. You see people apply it, and you think, hey, that looks simple enough. What a giant, messy, pain in the butt that stuff is. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Just awful, exclamation mark. For me, at least, playing a musical instrument, I've been given lessons on the cornet, the trumpet, the drums, the guitar and the piano. I can't make the little dots on the page come out of my mouth, fingers or hands. Being an adult, as a kid you think it will be easy, then you grow up and realize it's just a bunch of people who look like adults, but who in reality are still a load of kids making it up as they go along and just trying their best to get along in life. Getting a job after college. When I was in college, I used to land jobs so easily. What I'd do is I'd go up to the place on campus that was hiring. I'd go speak to whoever the boss would be, and I'd tell them I was interested in the job. Then I'd go back to my dorm, send my resume, go in for an interview, and boom, I had a job. I thought getting a job out of college would be just the same. I was wrong. Planking. It looks so easy and not complicated, but the first time I did it, I couldn't last 15 seconds. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.